one of the reasons why I decided to continue to put out videos on YouTube and continue to put out DVDs or what have you, is because one of the things I wanted to teach and show people, not just about, history and everything like that, but I wanted to prove to mostly religious people and people who are skeptical about religion that you can indeed be successful without, believing that you have to get all of your blessings from a God. A lot of people believe you have to be a celebrity. You got to go to school forever. And, it's really impossible for you to make money. And we got to understand that we have been raised in a system and oppressed in a system that is geared towards suppressing us financially, economically. Now, if you watch the video, The Calculated Destruction of the Black Man and Woman, I talked about how they are able to effectively affect the black community by remote control, and how it's really our culture, our music, our education as well, of course, that is hindering us and causing us to live in poverty. It's a state of mind that if you do not understand what is happening to you and what's going on, you're not going to never know. Everything seems like the norm. And what we got to realize is, how is it that they have effectively gotten an entire community, millions of black people across the country, to basically do the same thing? The same thing. You have the majority of black people are doing the same thing. You have a few exceptional people, a few people that got talents and skills that may have went on and became, entertainer, actor, athlete, professionals that may have become doctors, lawyers, scientists, or what have you. And we know these people have good jobs and they generate good money and are able to do amazing things with their life, with their wealth. But for the most part, the majority of people are not CEOs. They are not entrepreneurs. They are working for entrepreneurs and for CEOs and for corporations that are basically, geared towards milking them, for every dime that they make. What we have to figure out is why. What is the issue with that? What is the mindset to keep a person giving their energy, their youth, to a corporation that don't give a shit about it? A lot of people can't fathom multiple incomes. A lot of people just, you go to work, you get that paycheck. It's paycheck to paycheck. But a lot of people can't think about, a whole other paycheck. People say, well, I have some on the side work. Or, well, I'll do hair on the side. I'll do nails on the side. It's a little side job. You got that extra money coming in. But imagine if you was working full time with two jobs. You can't really do that. That's hard to do. But if you can set yourself up to where you can have a full-time job and have a second full-time paycheck coming in, this is what you want to happen. And eventually you want to get it to where you have full-time paychecks coming in without you doing absolutely nothing or a little, So this is the goal. This is what you want. And you don't want to be sitting there working at a company and you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you never met the owner. They treat you like shit. We have all waken up and felt like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to work. I don't feel like doing this shit. But you have to. You got to pay the rent. You got to pay the bills. You got to do what you got to do. And this is the rat race, the trap that they have us caught up in, to where we don't really feel free. We're just happy and we're going along and keeping a straight face, but really on the inside, we feel trapped. We feel stuck. We feel like, there's no hope. And this is one of the reasons why people turn to religion. And one of the major reasons why I'm here doing what I'm doing. Because when you have that feeling of hopelessness, as if, the lifestyle that you want or the situation that you're in is so huge, it's going to take a miracle to get you out that situation. And so many people feel like that, which is why they turn to religion, and they dare not challenge religion for fear that their life is going to get worse than what it is, or it's never going to get better. And it's the type of situation they have is in that allows religion to fester and grow and scare and destroy people and keep them exactly where they are in a state of poverty, hoping, begging, wishing. And my point is, you don't got to do all that. You don't have to go through all that shit. Understand what's going on and understand why it's because of you that you are in the position that you are in. Now, what happens is you have a lot of people who think that because I was in the Navy because I have college degrees or what have you, on school and everything, that this is the reason why, I'm successful. The only reason why. And that's not the case. I don't want people really thinking that, you have to, and we all know this, you don't need a college degree. You don't have to go to the military and all that. There are ways. There's always a way. It's going to be contingent on your lifestyle now and what you're doing. As I said in the last DVD, you can only comprehend what you can comprehend. Plain and simple. You can only do what you know. If you're trying to figure something out in life or in anything, you can only attack it based on your understanding, period. You can't go really beyond what you know. So if I give you a puzzle or, something to solve or a riddle or anything, you can only really solve or handle any kind of problem or issue based on experience, on what information you have that's going to help you get through the situation. So the reason why a lot of people are where they are at, because they don't have a plan, they don't have the information to get to where they want to be. And this goes to a whole thing that we hear all the time about the black community, when people say, well, why don't y'all just go do something? You poor, you selling drugs, just get out of there. As if we know or understand how to just go somewhere and get help or what to do to fix our situation. Like, it's just really easy to just get rich or to get successful. You have to have the know-how. And a lot of people equate that to go to college, going to school. And that's how you're going to somehow magically get what you need to be successful. And we see successful people with degrees not make it, homeless on the street, not do as well as people think they do. It's a mindset. And that's what I realized, that a lot of people in that situation won't have a mindset to get out of it because, it's real easy to get down on yourself fast. And the thing is, if you don't see a way out, you're going to be looking for a way out. And you're going to fall victim to your own doubts, your own fears, and that's what's going to hold you back. But if you had a clear way out where you can see, well, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do, that helps you out. And the only way you can do that is if you actually sit down and come up with a plan. And people say that, and a lot of people think it's just, a cliche thing we say, set goals and write a plan. But that's the truth. It works. And it's something that a lot of people need to really think about more and get into. Because, again, as I said, if you don't know how to do something, you can't do it. If you don't have a plan, you don't know how to put together a plan that's going to help you get to your destination. You can't get there. We use GPS all the time to get to a place we don't know how to get to. GPS help us get there. If you don't have GPS and you don't have the know-how, how are you going to get there? It's just, you got to think the same way about life. How am I going to get to this place I want to get this success and money that I want to get to? Well, you need a GPS. You need a plan to get you there. So when you actively factor in your life and what you can do and, how much money you make and everything like that, which we'll get into all that in a second, you can start to formulate a plan and you start to understand it's steps, but it really begins with a mindset and having a right mentality, which is going to be the first point we're going to get into in this DVD is mindset and mentality. It's really huge in moving forward. So mindset, mentality, big deal. And the mindset and mentality you have to have is it's a trap. It's all a setup. Everything that they are doing is to keep you in a rat race, to keep you making them rich. Plain and simple. When you understand that and you think about it that way, it's like, well, damn, I got to do something to get outside this box. We got to look at the situation and see it as I've been talking about in my videos. They want to make sure we stay in poverty because poverty brings you to the church. Poverty keeps you in trouble. Plain and simple. Keep your jails filled and keep us basically making the money, working for them. So when they gave us this hip hop culture, this culture that we live in, they make sure that we look at the very people that's destroying us and we make them our heroes. We make them everything. The actors, the rappers, they are the people who we look up to. And people want to be like them. People want what they want, what they have. And they try to go about getting it the same way they believe that they got it. And this is why a lot of people are confused with hip hop, with the music industry now. They think if they just go to the studio and record and hand out mixtapes and put out mixtapes, they're going to somehow blow up. And there's a lot more to it. And it's just a mindset they created for us to fail, to keep us in poverty, to keep us not really putting together a plan, but following a plan that they set for us to follow. And that's what most people are doing. When you pay attention and look, I talked about this before about how the neighborhoods, I mean, how did they manage to successfully get, millions of black people to do the exact same thing? White people as well, when you pay attention. And that is to basically follow this system of school, work, retire, die. And you spend the majority of your youth and your life working for somebody else. And every day is slavery when you really think about it. You wake up, you got to go to work and work for this person. You're not getting paid that day. You get paid whenever you get paid. And, you think that money when you get it is somehow like, that's the purpose. That's the point, to get this check. And that's supposed to be fulfilling in some kind of way. And if you're getting a whole lot of money, I can see how it is. You're making hundreds of thousands and millions a year. I can see, okay, well, I'm working for this person, but I get paid crazy money. So it's okay. But if not, it's like, what are you doing there? Year, 2 years, 3 years. And what is the plan going forward? Is this what you really want to do? And then, by the time you start to get the mindset of making a change, doubt starts to creep in, fear starts to creep in. You became already dependent on that paycheck and you can't really afford to hinder it or alter it in any way. You can't afford to even take extra time off or to dig into something else, an alternate source of income, because you're so dependent on that one income, that one check. And that's the thing, they got us really fixated on that one job, one check. You got some people who are lucky enough to work 2 jobs, but they can't work 2 full-time jobs or 3 full-time jobs without being exhausted. So it's like, how do you do all that? How do you get full-time income, but then be able to relax and chill, or to be able to see yourself in a better position in the future based upon what you're doing at that particular time? And that's really the key. And it really starts with having the right mindset and the right mentality towards, this system and the way that you're going to move forward in your life based upon, your lifestyle now. So now the 3 biggest things that is, harmful to your mindset and to your mentality as far as being successful or having success. The 3 biggest things is doubt, fear, and procrastination. And doubt and fear is really brought on by the unknown, which causes procrastination. And people really procrastinate because they don't see any reward. It's like, why should I go do this? I don't feel like doing this because I don't see the immediate reward. When it's an immediate reward, a lot of people just go ahead and do it. If you're about to get paid when you're done, you usually go do it immediately because it's a reward at the end. And a lot of times we procrastinate, with cleaning our kitchen because it's like, I'm home. It's my house. Who cares? I don't feel like cleaning the damn kitchen right now. I don't feel like cleaning the bathroom right now. It's not so much that you're a dirty person or what have you. It's just like, I don't feel like it because where's the reward? So what? It's my place. And, even on that small of a level, when you procrastinate, it just seeps into other facets of your life. And when you have doubt, when you constantly doubting yourself, and doubting becomes fear because you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know where the next money going to come from, or if your paycheck is going to cover all your bills. I hear a lot of people say that I'm happy every month when I could just pay my bills. I don't care if I got enough money to get new sneakers. I don't care if I don't got enough money, to go on vacation or to, do something or get something that I want. But at least my bills are paid and I have food. A lot of people are genuinely just happy with that. I can pay my bills. I can watch TV. I got entertainment. I can eat. I'm cool. And that's the mindset they want us to have. They want us to stay in that mindset, to just get by. And that's what it's about. Only a few exceptional people are going to break out of this same loop that everybody seems to be stuck in, especially in the black community. And that's going to work, coming home. That's what you do. You get a cookie every week or every 2 weeks or every month, and you go out and play. You get paid and you go do some stuff, and then you go right back to work. And what kind of existence is that? And the whole key is, as we all know, is money is everything. It's just everything in the society, unfortunately. So in order for you to really live the kind of life that you want to live and have the success that you want, you got to have money. And people think that, just somehow really having money is just going to be you're going to be able to go ahead and just, do big, great things. And if you don't invest your money right and put your money in the right places, you're going to lose it. And this is what's happening. And people who live paycheck to paycheck know that better than anybody else. Because I see a lot of people who buy stuff they don't need just to fit in. You buy stuff that they really don't need just to get it. And then you have the regret later on. Like, why did I buy that? Or did I really need to buy that? Why didn't I just put this money in a savings account? So, this all goes towards a mindset and a mentality that is being created by this hip hop culture and the system that we live in that's making us think we need a bunch of shit that we do not need. Plain and simple. And remember, we used to always talk about the white people, how they come to school and tight t-shirt, beat up shoes, wrinkly jeans. It wasn't about the fashion and the styles with them. Remember, they came to school looking like whatever, but they were saving their money. We seemed like we had to fit in. We had to show off, black folks. We had to have the best because we didn't want to look poor, even though we was actually poor. And it's the mentality that basically transfers over into our adulthood, and we doing the same thing. You want to look the part, but you don't really got it like that. And this is what's going to destroy you. This is what's going to hinder you. Because then when you sit back and you calculate all the meaningless bullshit, trying to keep it real money that you done spun on a bunch of stuff that you don't have no more, or use no more, or just old and worn out, that's thousands of dollars you could have had in your savings account that could have went towards a better future for you, for your family, and to something that's really going to help you be successful in the future. Plain and simple. And this is the mentality we got to break out of, wasting money. So when you have that mindset in check, you have that mindset and mentality in check that I need to save money. I really need to be mindful of what I do and how I think as far as my money, what I'm doing with the money I got coming in, the little you got coming in. Once you got that mindset and that mentality that this is a trap, it's a setup, and you really need to work towards breaking out of this system, then you set on that point, and then you start to move on. What's the next thing you need to do? And I always tell people you have to have savings and security. Plain and simple. And this is just like, to most people, it's like, I don't got it like that to where I could save, and that's crazy. That's a problem because you do. Because there's a lot of things that you buy, as I said, that you don't need. That could have went to savings, security. All that stuff could have went to something much better. And savings and security is huge because you need to really understand that a lot of the problems people get into financially is because they didn't save. It just didn't save. I mean, a lot of people walking around that work, that have a job, they don't have $1,000 in their savings account. Some people ain't got $100 in their savings account. When you meet a person that has a job, they've been working for a long time, and they don't have $1,000, they've been working at a job for years. I mean, how long you been working? I mean, I'm in my 30s. I've been working for a long time, and you don't have $1,000 if you're my age. Just think about it. If you're watching right now, and you don't have $1,000 in your savings account, that's horrible. That is horrible. And it's not to make it like, to put you down or anything like that. It's to make you really think about what you've been spending your money on or what you've been doing with your money that you do not have $1,000. One. And the reason why this is important is because shit happens. Plain and simple. Shit happens. You need to really add up your bills, what you spend a month. And I'm serious. You need to do this. When you get time, you finish watching, what have you. And yeah, please be taking notes. You need to really think about this stuff and get it in your head. You need to calculate your bills monthly, what you spend. And I'm talking about factor in your little snacks, the little shit you spend to make you feel good, all that stuff. Not meaningless stuff that's like, I don't really need this. But, snacks, you might want a donut. I want a freaking candy bar, what have you. That little teeny bit of money. So you could just allocate, like, let's say you blow $100 a month on just some snacks. Cool, add that. But, of course, your main bills, right? Utilities, that stuff like that. Essentials. Some things you can live without. If push come to shove, you don't really need the cable. That's an expensive bill Cable is like a freaking, luxury these days because it's so hot. And Netflix is cheap, so a lot of people get that. As long as you got the internet, you're good. But get your bills together. Calculate what you spend a month. Food, utilities, rent, what have you. You need to have that times 3. Plain and simple. And understand, having that kind of mentality that I need to have this times 3, because if something happens to where you lose your job, you get fired, you get hurt, and it's a problem, you don't have an income, at least you got 3 months saved. And I talked about this before. You got 3 months saved to get you through that time. Can you imagine? You've been through this before, some of you, to where something happened and you needed money. Could you imagine if you had 3 times your monthly expenses already saved? And the thing is, we have been, taught to just have one account. To us, having one big account is good. I got one account. I mean, that's a big thing in the black community if you have an account. Got checkers and savings and you think you're doing well. You need to have a different savings for your utilities, for your bills. Write that down if you can't remember it. That is huge. And we're going to get into credit because credit is the next topic we're going to get into. But security and savings is huge. You need to have a separate account. Now, one of the cool things they do have now for people who might not have the credit to open an account, which we'll get into this, is they have the prepaid cards that you get like load money on. So we'll get into that in a second. But you need to have times 3 your monthly expenses saved and put in a separate account. So now let's say, your monthly expenses, to be modest, is around $3,000. You need $3,000 that's going to take care of your rent, bills, everything else, your little snacks. All that stuff's going to take care of $3,000. That's what you need. Now, you bring in a month around $5,000, $5,000. And after bills is paid, you got $2,000 in your pocket, $2,000 left. All your bills paid, you got food, bills paid, you got $2,000 left a month for you to go do whatever the hell you need to do with it. So, automatically that $3,000 goes into that account that's for bills. And you pay your bills, take care of your bills. Sometimes your bills is less than what you think it is. So it's money left over and that adds up. But you have your bills account taken care of. So how I do it is I have that separate account, for my bills. And I make sure, I have my main account that most of the money's coming in. I use PayPal for basically almost everything I do business-wise because it's amazing. And I'll give you another pointer on why you should be using PayPal if you have a business and you're going to like it. But I have the PayPal, I have stuff coming into my PayPal, and I use PayPal as like a private central bank. And I use it to basically fund my other banks that I have. So I have it set up to where a certain amount comes out and goes into such and such bank. And that's just how I do it. So then you have the account for the bills. And you don't need an account for this. This stuff you can really handle easily. And if you have the money coming in, you can automate it. And you set that up. You have the money coming out to take care of the bills. You have money going from the $2,000 you got left. Let's say you take $500 of that. It goes into a savings account. And you have $1,500 that just stays in your personal account for whatever. You just have it in there. And then now you're sitting on that money. Everything else is taken care of. Maybe you want to go buy some clothes or whatever like that. Everything is taken care of and you have saving. You have leftover money to spend. It's just an analogy. Now, the problem is, and what happens is we overdo shit. One, we know our bills is $3,000. We know we only get $5,000. You only gonna have $2,000 left to spend for yourself. And the problem is what people do is they spend over that $2,000. That's the number you should be being mindful of. It's the $2,000. You don't want to spend over $2,000 from your $5,000 because that's going to eat into your bills. So what people do is when they get their $5,000, they go buy this, they go buy that, they go buy a bunch of meaningless stuff they don't need that eats into the $2,000 they know they're going to have for themselves. Now they spent the $2,000 and they're eating into the bill money. And then bills come, I put a little bit on this bill, I put a little bit on that bill, and they do that. That gets the collectors off your back. Nobody's collecting money. You gave them something, it's fine. But then that adds on to the next bill. The bills is not paid in full. It adds on to the next bill and begins to add up. Meanwhile, the money you had left over from that you should have paid all to bills, you just pinching off of it here and there all through the month. Little here, little there, go there and do this, go there and do that. It's no organization to the money you just had coming in, to that $5,000. It's not organized. Next thing you know, that $5,000 is gone before the month is even over. Your bills did not get paid in full. The next $5,000 comes in, your bills are higher than before. And people do the same thing over again until they get to the point where they can't pay their bills and shit get cut off. There's no organization. When you have organization to how you pay bills and how you live and how you use your money, your life will change. So now all that really falls into as well, mindset and mentality. Because if your mindset and mentality is correct, you won't do stuff like that. But let's keep it real. Let's be real. I'm from the hood. I grew up poor. I know how it is. I know how it is to be living off of, ramen noodles and, little 99-cent sodas and everything, 99-cent chips and all that. Did all that. I know what that's like. And a lot of people will tell you that they don't make enough to cover their bills because of their job. And that's on them. You can't live outside your means. That's a huge problem. That's already a no-no. We don't even got to get into that. Damn well, if you're only making $1,000 a month, you can't afford a $2,000 rent. That's exactly what you'll be. It's house poor. Plain and simple. So we know that. So the thing is, again, it comes into the realm of you're not being accountable for what you do, and you don't have organization to the money that you have. So when I said earlier about this is really going to factor into your unique lifestyle and how you live. So you have a job. If you don't have salary, you may not know exactly how much money you're going to get at the end of the month. And some people get paid weekly. Some people get paid, bi-weekly. But when you're getting paid. Plain and simple. So a lot of people do their whole thing. Well, this check, I'm going to do this. But then the next check, I'm just going to go to bills. It's no real type of organization. And I mean responsible organization with your money. And that's the thing. A lot of people feel like, well, I don't want to pay all the bills right now because then I'm going to be broke. I'm not going to have no money for me. Well, what is the for me? If all your bills are paid, you got food that lasts you through the month, what else is there? And that's the problem. A lot of people want to go, I want to play. I deserve to buy these shoes. I deserve to get this. I deserve to get that. You deserve to stay exactly where you are because you're never going to get nowhere thinking like that. Plain and simple. You are behind already. You are behind. Now, you can do stuff like that and say those kind of things if you know, well, I have 3 months rent put away. I have over $1,000 saved in my savings account. And I know it's going to be money left over after I pay all the bills. I have that money to spend. So I'm going to go and spend some money on myself. Then you can say that. But you can't say that if you don't have 3 months saved. You don't have money in the savings account, $1,000 at least. And that money you just got paid got to go to bills. You behind on bills. It's a mindset. And this is what we do because, the bill collectors are the way that they are. Pay them a little bit of money to leave you alone. And what people don't realize is stuff like that, late payments and everything, it hurts your credit. And it just hinders you and it puts you in a hole, and it's going to really cause a problem later on. So again, what happens is, people know electric bill's too high. They got this expensive ass cable bill that they don't want to get rid of. Rent is already high. And as I said, when they get their check, if they paid all their bills up, they broke. They broke. And unfortunately, that's the reality for a lot of people. If they paid all their bills up, they might not have enough money for food. So there's a problem. And this may be a lot of you. You may not have money left over. But all that happens is you go into a phase where you have to really, figure out what's really important. What's more important. And for the most part, if you stand at a place, you got utilities, you take care of that, you take care of rent, you buy food. Anything left over, if you can save, you save. But if you have nothing left over and after you pay bills, you're just done, or, you don't make enough to cover bills, as I said, that's a huge problem. You shouldn't be in that situation in the first place. Then what is there to do? What do you do? And for a lot of people, depending on what they can do, they go out and get a second job to bring in more income. A lot of people got little side hustles to bring on more income. But what I have found in looking at a lot of these situations is a lot of people's problem is not the fact that they don't make enough. It's just they blow the money that they make. Which is why I talked about mentality. being accountable, having the mindset to recognize the issue. And that's the thing. A lot of people understand that they overspend. They buy stuff that they shouldn't buy, that they really can't afford, because there's no real accountability. There is no real organization to the money that they have coming in. So they go ahead and spend money because they have money. And that really eats into and affects the whole process we're discussing here. Just again, using the 5,000, you got 5,000 coming in a month. Your total expense is going to be 3,000. You got $2,000 left over. You save 500. You got 1,500 to spend. Bills paid. Got enough food to last you for the month. What are you going to do with that 1,500? And you got 1,500. You can really blow. That's going to last you through the month. Just here and there, going to go buy stuff or what have you. Now, if you like most people and you work a 9 to 5 and you work every day, you might have 2 days off. I don't know too many people that's going to blow 1,500, with 2, 4, let's say 8 days off in a month. You're going to blow, 1,500 in 8 days. Of course you can. It's really easy. But most people, when you get off of work, you want to chill, you want to relax. Now, if you're going to work and you have work most of the day, you get off and you come home, you got food. It might be something else that you want that you might forgot. You can go ahead and spend money here and there. But let's just say out of that 1,500 that's left over through the month, just by getting little stuff here and there, let's just be conservative and say you spend half that money. Let's just say you end up spending, you end up spending 700 out of the 1,500. So now you spend 700 out of the 1,500 because all you doing during a month is going to work and coming home. You're not really hitting the club. You're not going out on no shopping spree. You're not really doing too much. Maybe you might go to the movies. You might do something like that. But for the most part, you only end up spending 700 of that 1,500, right? So that leaves you with 800 left that's going to go right into your savings account. So the process repeats itself. You got another 2,000 left over. You now have saved 1,300. You repeat the process. Just think about how much that keeps adding up with those numbers. Now, that might not be your numbers. Your numbers may be less, maybe more. But with that type of process and understanding, having a mindset that I don't really need to go and I can't go below this money. I need to have a nice, hefty savings for my plans down the line. So let's say you keep this process up for a year. And, without really going too much into the math, you keep the process up a year, 12 months, you end up saving, over 12 grand, 13 grand, something like that. End of the year. Boom. You done saved 12 grand. Income tax right around the corner. This is about to go right into your account, or you can do whatever with that now because you're going to save so much. You follow this process and you keep on adding on and your savings grow and grow and grow. And this is how you win. This is how you get ahead. And this is exactly what I did to propel myself forward. Sacrifice. And that's the problem. A lot of people are not willing to sacrifice. And again, this goes back into mentality, mindset, not letting what you see on TV get to you or what your friends doing get to you. You have a goal you're trying to reach.